on three. 1, 2, 3.
Win!
The alley-oop!
Hello, Saints fans. Welcome to the Coaches Show. This is your show, an in-depth analysis of St. Martin's baseball, alongside the head coach of the St. Martin Saints, Joey Swanson. And, Coach, when you look over the last few weeks and that series that jumps out against Montana State Billings and the victory against MSUB, Kelton Tom with a hit for the ages, what do you remember from such a special moment?
Yeah, I think that day for us was really good. I was joking with Derek after game one that we had him on the ropes, and he admitted that they were a little bit nervous, I think, in the sixth or seventh. So we definitely got their attention game one, and then obviously game two with the walk-off in the seventh with Kelton Tom. He's got 4 home runs this year, and I talked to him after that game, and he said that he had never hit a home run prior to this year, whether it be Little League, college, high school, no matter. So he's been gone a lot because he works with the legislation for his criminal justice major. So we see him only a couple days a week. So maybe less is more. He's probably one of our healthiest guys on roster because of that, probably. So to see him come up in that moment, and I think there were a lot of guys that probably called that home run shot. I mean, he took a swing on the first pitch, and the guy he was facing was pretty good. He'd been shutting us down for a couple innings, so just jumped over a first pitch fastball, and I think everybody still thinks of that moment. So pretty awesome for the team and for him.
Now, Coach, when you look back at not only the series against MSUB, but also against Northwest Nazarene this past weekend, your team was battle-tested. What did you like? What were some of the challenges that your team was able to face head-on through the past 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think the NNU series was tough. We had to finish a halted game on the day of travel. And then we got delayed at the airport, so it was really like a legitimate show and go when we show up and finish those couple innings, and then lost that first one to finish game 4 of the series. The next day, the offense came out really well. I think we had close to 19, 20 hits, and just the free base war got the best of us there. But we're dealing with a lot of injuries throughout the year. We lost Colin Bell in the Billings series, actually right before the Kelton Tom homer. And then we had another season-ending injury when we were in NNU. So our outfield is pretty depleted right now. So trying to have a light week of practice. But NNU, they're a really good team. I think they're in the top 20 now for national ranking. They're definitely one of the top teams in the region. They have been ever since Schaefer's been there. We knew it was going to be a tough test. They've got some really good arms that are atop of the leaderboard really all year. So offensively it was good to get into their bullpen early and gave us a chance. But that's a tough park to play in, tough elevation. It is what it is. They didn't quit all weekend from offensive, and pitchers challenge those guys. As young as we are on the mound, they didn't really shy away. So, it is what it is. That's a very good team, and we didn't shy away from the competition. It is what it is.
Who stood out this past weekend with going up against NNU?
I think a lot of our, Isaac Hogue had a really good weekend for us. Hit his first homer of the year. Oppo made a couple really good catches in the outfield. Evan Nickel continues to impress me and be on barrel. it's been a combined effort offensively. One guy goes down and another guy gets hot. We're still not scoring the amount of runs that we were early on, but they're putting together good at bats. On the pitching side, we gave Wyatt Ishii a start. He did well. Fulkerson had some struggles, but been really impressed with some of our young guys. Riley Smalling has been good out of the pen, had a good outing in that Billings series, an 84-pitch bullpen appearance, which, you don't necessarily want to have, but he did well and had another opportunity at NNU and free bases got to him a little bit, but, we're inexperienced on the mound. We've got some young guys on the mound, young guys offensively, so, they're learning a lot as we go.
Before we look at next season for the St. Martin Saints, still one more series left, and it's this weekend, senior weekend, Thursday, Friday, against Western Oregon, and the visitors from Monmouth, chance to head into the GNAC playoffs. St. Martin's has the opportunity to play the role of spoiler. For you, Coach, what are you looking for out of your team this weekend?
Yeah, it's always tough to play Western. They're always pitch really well, so it's another challenge for our offense. We had a really good series against them when we went up there, so hopefully our guys can remain confident against this staff. We're a little bit banged up really everywhere, so it's just a matter of them continuing to believe in each other and just trying to go out there and compete and, let the chips fall where they may. Senior weekend's always special senior week in this series. It's last weekend of the series, so GNAC always plays Thursday, Friday. But celebrating our seniors, even though, a lot of them are hurt, we'll find a way to celebrate them and keep them in the lineup somehow. But it's just continuing to go out and compete. Finally we're back at home. Nice to be able to finish the year at home. I don't know if we've finished a year at home in several years. It's going to be nice on Thursday, and Friday looks okay as well. So it'll just be good to finish with some good weather and one more time on the grass and dirt field and just continue to try to keep them motivated.
How, with you being an assistant coach for these senior days, how is this one different?
I still find myself doing a lot of the same things as far as planning. Oshiro's been helpful in that. The staff has been helpful in that. I think what's different this year is that we've had some of our team guys on roster that have taken the role of helping with our social media, helping Matt out, and I really like what they've done with our senior shout-outs. It's been really cool to see the old pictures and what they're trying to do. So, that's been pretty special for them to be able to do that for their teammates. So that's been cool to hear what guys are doing, planning on doing moving forward. It has been good, and we'll just hopefully we can play well and sneak out a win or two this weekend and leave them on a high note.
Leave on a high note and look towards next year. And we can now make the announcement, especially coming up for St. Martin's turf field coming in play pretty soon.
Yeah, we got the field layout. They're hoping to start that project at some point this summer, and looking forward for our guys to be able to be out there in the fall on it for sure.
It's going to be fun to see the St. Martin Saints out on a turf field next fall. But first, senior week against Western Oregon. Start times at noon on both Thursday and on Friday. I'll be with you alongside Matthew King for the call from St. Martin's baseball field. That's all the time that we have for the Coaches Show. For head coach Joey Swanson, I'm Danny DeBock saying so long and take care. And as always, it's a great day to be a Saint.